Good morning, Innovate. I'm Steve Shreve from Shreve Health and Fitness. I help busy people in any location feel physically younger, and today I'm going to talk to you about why free fitness information is often far too expensive. So I was away from home recently and I came across this workout on a website of a very well-established magazine aimed at men. It's very well known, you would know the magazine. And this workout looks fine, doesn't it? And it's free and it's on the internet, and we all know that everything that's on the internet is brilliant and flawless. So this workout must be brilliant and flawless. I'm going to explore that in a little bit more detail for you, but before I do, I just want to tell you this important rule for the design of any fitness program, and that is that muscles and movements on both sides of a joint should be trained in a 1-to-1 ratio to prevent joint pain. So for example, you have a muscle on the front of your thigh, you have a muscle on the back of your thigh. If you do more work for the muscle on the front of your thigh than the muscle on the back of your thigh, that will create an imbalance around the knee joint, which will cause you knee pain. So bearing in mind that rule that I've just told you, one of the big problems about online fitness content is that most people don't know what they don't know. So somebody might look at that workout and think it looks absolutely fine, but what they don't know is that the 3 chest exercises in this workout don't just work the chest muscles, they also work other muscles as well. And all three of those exercises also work a muscle on the front of the shoulder called the anterior deltoid. And if we want to prevent postural changes that would lead to shoulder pain, we need to do as much work for the posterior deltoid on the back of the shoulder as we do for the anterior deltoid on the front of the shoulder. So what I'm going to do, bearing in mind that rule I just told you, I'm going to have a look at this workout and have a look at the muscle balance within it. So in this workout program, there are 3 exercises for the anterior deltoid on the front of the shoulder, but only 2 for the posterior deltoid on the back of the shoulder. There are 3 upper body pushing exercises, but only 2 upper body pulling exercises. And that imbalance of work from the anterior to the posterior deltoid and the imbalance of pushing and pulling movements means that this workout carries a risk for anyone who does it of developing shoulder pain. Even more importantly, there were 3 knee dominant exercises in this workout, but only 1 hip dominant exercise. Now, to explain knee and hip dominant exercises to you, a knee dominant exercise is an exercise which uses the muscle on the front of the thigh as the dominant muscle, and a hip dominant exercise is an exercise that uses the muscle on the back of the thigh as the dominant muscle. And as you can see in this workout, the 3 knee dominant exercises, but only 1 hip dominant exercise. So this workout, unfortunately, because of that imbalance, carries with it a risk for developing knee pain. And if those imbalances are there, people will develop joint pain. It's not a case of if, it's just a case of when. So this free workout from a very well-established website, not looking so hot at the moment. But it's not just fitness content aimed at men that carries these issues. I found a weight training for women program, 4-week, beginner friendly, on the website of a very well-established and well-known magazine that's aimed at women. And before I break down that workout for you, I want to tell you something that's really important for you to know, and that's that women are more prone to developing knee pain than men. There are multiple reasons for this, but 2 big ones are a greater Q angle. So women have wider hips than men, which creates a different angle between their knees and hips, which makes things for a woman's knee a little bit more stressful than it is for a man's knee. Second biggie is that women tend to be naturally quad dominant, meaning the muscles on a woman's thigh tend to be stronger than the muscles on the back of the thigh. These 2 things together, as well as some other things, mean that women are more prone to developing knee pain than men. And because of that, hip dominant exercises which work the glutes and the hamstrings on the back of the thigh are very important to women's training programs to help prevent them getting knee pain. So let's have a look at the workouts on this website. We've got 4 exercises in workout 1. We've got a leg press, a goblet squat, a seated cable row, flat dumbbell fly. Looks very professional. We've got videos showing you how to do the exercises. We've got instructions for the exercises. Looks like it works the whole body. Must be amazing. Workout 2 has 5 exercises in it. Leg press, walking lunges, dumbbell hammer curl, flat dumbbell fly, straight bar, cable press down. What could go wrong? So I'm going to break down the workout balance for these 2 workouts. So across the 2 workouts, we've got 3 upper body pushing exercises, but only 2 upper body pulling exercises. We've got 1 exercise involving the triceps, but 2 involving the biceps. We've got 2 chest exercises, but only 1 upper back exercise, and that's really important because we need the muscles on the front and the back of the body to be balanced. But importantly, bearing in mind this workout is designed for a population of people who are more prone to developing knee pain, there are 4 knee dominant exercises and 0 hip dominant exercises. So unfortunately, this workout program carries with it a high risk for developing knee, elbow and shoulder pain. I've also put an asterisk next to the knee dominant exercises because walking lunges was one of the knee dominant exercises in this program, and this program was marketed at being suitable for beginners. Walking lunges are not an entry-level exercise because when you do a walking lunge, your femur, which is your thigh bone, moves towards your kneecap. That's quite high on the knee stress scale compared to other exercises we could be choosing. And that's fine if you're an advanced exerciser who's built yourself up to tolerate that through other exercises, but it's not a great choice for beginners. Now, it's not just websites that I find these muscle imbalance problems with. A number of years ago, I was doing a strength and conditioning program for a group of canoers who were going on a world tour. And one of the ladies in the group said to me, "Steve, every time I do press-ups, I get shoulder pain. Why is that?" I said, "Well, outside of these sessions, when do you do press-ups? Should I do a free HIIT workout program that I follow on YouTube?" I said, "Okay, are press-ups the only upper body exercise in that program?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, this is why you've got shoulder pain, because a press-up is not a complete upper body exercise. It's an upper body pushing exercise, and because you're not doing an equal amount of upper body pulling exercises, this is creating a muscle imbalance around your shoulder joint, and this is why you're getting shoulder pain." So I said to her, "Here's what I want you to do. Every time you do your HIIT workout program, instead of doing the press-ups, when the press-ups come up, I want you to ignore the press-ups and I want you to do this exercise instead. I want you to do that for 4 weeks, and then in 4 weeks' time, we're going to test you out with some press-ups, and I'd be willing to bet you can do them pain-free." So she took my advice, she did this exercise instead for 4 weeks, and after 4 weeks she could do press-ups without any pain in her shoulders because we had rebalanced her body. Now, I could give you countless examples of these things that I've seen. I get people coming to me who are in pain, and when I analyse what they've been doing with their workouts beforehand, I find these problems. I see these things online on websites, I see them on streaming services, I see them on the pages of social media influencers, I see them in adverts for free fitness apps, but I also see these things in things that people pay for, such as magazines and fitness classes. The thing I want you to take away from today's presentation is that when people use free workouts, they don't pay for it with money, but they'll often end up paying for it with the structural integrity of their body. And for me, that is a price that is far too high to pay. So when somebody pays me to help manage their fitness journey, they're not just paying for access to my custom training app. They're not just paying me to assess them. They're not just paying me to create and personalize their workouts. They're not even just paying me for accountability. They're also not just paying me to do a weekly review of their workouts, update their workouts and provide feedback to them. They're not just paying me to be available 5 days a week for support for them, and they're also not just paying me to adapt things when they're away from home. They're also paying me to understand muscle balance, to know all of the muscles involved in every exercise, both major and minor, to know the differences between hip and knee dominant exercises, to understand gender differences in training program needs, and all of that adds up to help save them from future pain. And I believe that is much better value for money than anything they can get for free. I hope you found this presentation interesting. Does anyone have any questions?